Welcome to the Arts and Medicine Studio. I'm so excited to hear the third chapter of Cody and the Canon. With me are the creators, Cynthia Adler. Hello, Cynthia.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. We're thinking up some really wild stuff.
So, for those of you who have not watched our previous episode, Jonah, would you give us a recap?
Yeah, of course. So, Cody, Violet, and Waffles, who are our partners in crime in this story, have mysteriously been flown to this planet called Bork from this toy boat that had grown into this large ship that was Violet's toy boat given to her by her grandfather. And right now they are sitting on a bed of weeds in a colorless area. And they have no idea where they are or what's happened, but they've just been landed there.
This episode is illustrated by Ishan's mother, Sonali. Go ahead, Cynthia.
Cody and the Cannon, Chapter 3 by Cynthia Adler and Jonah Halliban. Cody, Violet, and Waffles sat and waited. It was only a matter of time when three uniformed aliens appeared at the bed of weeds. They were about 6 feet tall, wearing black robes. Their eyes were large and round and light orange colored, in the same place as that human eyes were. Their nose was just a small hole in the middle of their face, and their mouths had very thin, hardly noticeable lips, but were a very hot red color, almost like flame. On the front of their robe, in small, shiny silver letters, it said, Morko the Supreme, and below that, it said soldier with an exclamation mark.
Cody, for some strange reason, felt no fear. He was calm and was waiting for the aliens to say something. Violet had her eyes closed, and Waffles was half in her lap. They all just looked at each other for a moment. Who are you, and where did you come from? Asked one of the aliens. We are from Earth, said Cody. And what are you doing here? Asked another of the aliens. We thought we were on our way to Vi, said Cody, but for some reason we ended up here. Oh, really? Said the third alien. Coming to spy or rescue the captive? What captive? Said Cody. The three aliens looked at each other. You shall find out soon enough, they all said together.
Cody was silent for a moment. They spoke English just like the methodics on Vi. Cody quietly told them his name and Violet's and Waffles as well as the aliens started coming closer. What are your names? Cody asked. We don't have names, said one of the aliens. We have numbers. We are the armed soldiers of our leader, Morko the Supreme. I am soldier number 13. This is soldier number 6, and here is soldier number 20. It was really confusing. They all looked so much alike, and Cody was trying to memorize the numbers with the faces. It was hard. Violet had still not said anything. Then Cody said, Can you help us get to Vi? The three aliens were silent, and then number 6 said, I don't think you are going anywhere yet before you meet our powerful leader, Morko the Supreme, so he can see if you are lying or spying first, or if you are here to try to rescue. The alien stopped in mid-sentence. Rescue who? Said Cody. Violet suddenly stood up and said in a very strong voice, We have no intention of coming here. We just lost our way, so why don't you just let us leave peacefully?
The alien said nothing, as one brought over a silver cart and picked up Cody and put him in. Then they told Violet and Waffles to follow. At first, they didn't move. But then Cody told them to climb in as well. Violet and Waffles followed in as they made their way up a very big hill to a large silver covered shed with crystal lettering that said, Morko the Supreme, enter if you dare. And then they walked Cody and Violet and Waffles inside.
They were led into a very strangely lit room with a huge round crystal mound in the middle of the floor. There were 4 big spikes coming out from the crystal and an indentation on the top where Morko the Supreme sat. Morko got up from his crystal and stared at the 3 visitors. He was about 5'5" or so, chubby, and had a red robe on and almost black eyeballs. "What brings you to Bork?" he said. His voice was scratchy and cold. "We were actually going to Vi, but we landed here, and I don't really know why," said Cody. "Oh, you don't know why?" said Morko. "What on earth would make you come to Vi?" Cody wanted to laugh at that because "what on earth" was an expression his father used to say a lot, like, "What on earth are you doing with that toothbrush?" But of course, this was a very different meaning of that expression.
Cody paused for a moment. "I have been to Vi before," he said, "and it is beautiful and welcoming, and I wanted to show it to my friend Violet." "Oh, Vi. You were going to Vi. We had planned to go to Vi as well, but not for the same reason as yours. Well, maybe there is someone you should see here on Bork. Maybe you are part of the same intrusion that she was."
"She?" Cody said. "Who is the she?" But he didn't answer. Morko then said, 13 and 20, take them to the place. Take them to the intruder. Perhaps they are all in this together." At this point, Violet said, "We just want to get to Vi or go home." "Well, that's not an option right now, Earthling," said Morko. And he got back on his crystal throne and told his soldiers to bring him some energy from the population. Cody had no idea what that meant at all, but he was soon to find out.
Bork was a small planet, actually a very small planet. You could walk from one end to the other in one full 24-hour Earth day. Numbers 13 and 20 pushed the cart around some long circular pathways lined with colorless grass, faded flowers, drooping trees, and some light-colored, sad-looking rocks. At some point, the air started to get colder and it seemed to get a little darker. Then darker again, and darker still. Finally, they came to a large piece of the planet that had big wires around it, a big brown building inside, and a few big signs across different parts of the wiring that said, in big letters, "The Darklands."
"Where are we?" asked Cody. "You are going to the Darklands," said number 20. "You will not have to stay here after we find out just why you are here, but for now, this will be your lodging and your food. If you try to leave or escape, it is for sure that you will not be able to find your way anywhere, and the consequences may be more than you will be able to bear." And with that, he opened the gate and told Cody and Violet and Waffles to get out of the cart. The soldiers then walked them inside to a huge, big room. Cots were all over the floor, and there were many men and women, aliens, resting there, most of them. They sat up when the soldiers entered. Cody and Violet couldn't believe it. It looked like a summer camp bedroom with 2 lines of beds down a long corridor, but it was very quiet. No one said a word. After a few minutes, number 13 said, "These are your new sleeping quarters. You will be brought some food to eat in a few hours. When we return tomorrow, perhaps you will be willing to give us some more information. If all goes well, you may be allowed to leave. And if not, well, you will find out." "Find out what?" said Cody. "We have said enough," said number 20. And with that, they left.
Cody and Violet and Waffles huddled together in a corner. Violet was shaking again as Waffles went up on her lap. "I think we have been sent here for something," said Cody. "I don't know what it is, but I think we'll find out very soon." They looked around. They saw many aliens sitting on separate beds. They were mostly tall and looked slender. Their eyes were also orange, but very pale, almost with no color at all. They seemed hesitant to talk to Cody and Violet. Suddenly, Waffles got up and was panting in excitement. He ran around in a circle and then suddenly ran down the long aisle that separated the two lines of beds. Cody stood up and was about to run after him when Waffles started to bark loud. It was not a mean bark. It was a bark of excitement. And then Cody heard a female voice say, "Waffles! Oh, Waffles! How did you get here?" The woman stood up. She was very tall, but Cody couldn't see her face yet. As she got closer with Waffles beside her, Cody held his breath. "Raya!" he screamed, so that all the other aliens raised their heads. "Raya, what are you doing here?" said Cody. And with that, Cody ran to Raya and gave her a great big hug. Waffles was licking her hand. He remembered the waffles that she had made him for breakfast. "Come here, Violet. This is Raya from Bai. I told you about her, remember?" Violet ran to Cody and Waffles and gave Raya a big hug as well.
Suddenly, all the other aliens got up from their beds and started to crowd around Cody, Violet, Waffles, and Raya. "These Borkians are our friends," said Raya. "They are kind, they are smart, and you can trust them. They do not lay down to the cruel demands of Morko the Supreme, which is why they are imprisoned here." "But why are you here?" Cody asked Raya. "I came to Bork to try to make peace on this planet and to convince Morko to stop threatening Vi. And I think I never realized how difficult and impossible it would be. And once I got here and tried to reason with him, he had his soldiers imprison me in the Darklands." "How long have you been here?" said Cody. "Many moons," said Raya. "How can we help?" Violet asked, as Raya's warm smile turned to her and said, "I think we shall have a plan."
And then they all sat together, everyone in the Darklands, plotting a way to finally bring peace to this planet.
Thank you, Cynthia Adler and Jonah Halaban, for putting so much into enhancing our art in medicine studio with such an amazing story. I can't wait to hear the next chapter. Ishan, what should we do if we wanted to catch up with the story so far?
So if you want to catch up with whatever's happened so far, and a lot has, you can check the description below for a link to our last video. And you can watch that video either on Instagram or on YouTube, whichever you prefer, and get up to speed and see what's going on. And thank you so much, Jonah and Cynthia, for writing this amazing next part. I really enjoyed hearing it. And you do a great job of creating the suspense every time, leaving me on a cliffhanger. And started out in their backyard, and now they're starting a revolution on a planet. I think this is amazing. Thank you so much for this, and I can't wait for the next episode.
And wait, there's more. If you wanted to influence any part of this story, illustrations or content, please write to us at amnitza@gmail.com and tune in for the next episode. I can't wait. Thank you so much, everyone. See you soon.
Bye.
Soon, bye.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.